be quick today. Got a little bit of a late start myself. Starting at 8:50. Gotta be out of here by 9 a.m. All right, let's go ahead and get started. What? Why do I want to define marketing? I recently asked this question in a large group, Asian Hustle Network. I got a bunch of different answers, and I'm actually more curious to expand my mind. Because everybody's right. Because what you think, it's technically right. It really depends on what perspective you're looking at it. So, since I have to be quick, I'm not gonna elaborate as much as I would like to. And on that note, I may just show you. I define it, but before I define it, think about your own answer. What is marketing? What do you consider marketing? And I came to the realization this morning. Um, be, and let me. Sorry, I'm all over the place here. Let me give you a bit of a background on my experience. I have a lot of sales experience at the beginning of my career as a commercial real estate salesperson. So, as a salesperson, you're selling yourself on the front end or back end, whatever you want to call it, trying to get the inventory, the listing. After you get the listing, then now you're trying to sell this property, right? At a certain price. So, sales experience came first, and then get into digital marketing, SEO, writing later on in my life. So, so I see the direct relationship with sales and marketing from an experience and not so much as learning from it. I kind of did it backwards. I experienced it, and now I'm refining my knowledge. I'm learning more deeply about both sales and marketing. And so when I see people define marketing, a lot of times they'll define marketing. They'll put in things that I would have grouped off into sales, right? But here's the thing, right? When I see other people define something, and that's the greater problem with everything in life, right? We have to define the terms that we're using first, right? If you and I are going to use a term, let's call it marketing today, right? In a course of discussion, and if we're going to discuss marketing, right, and we're all going to talk about this one thing, today it's marketing, tomorrow maybe it's something else, fitness or whatever, uh, wouldn't it, and I'm kind of begging a yes answer right here, but wouldn't it be a good idea to have a somewhat clear definition of the thing that we're talking about over and over again, right? It seems like an obvious yes, right? But but you think about this in life, and a, a lot of disagreements, from personal disagreements to professional to political, are based on differing definitions of words. Like two people might actually agree. Two people might be arguing for no reason at all. And they might actually agree on an issue. But it might seem like they disagree because they have a different definition of a word. Let's say marketing, for example. Let's say one guy considers, like, talking to someone on the phone. He says that's marketing because you're branding yourself, right? And I'm like, well, I would have put that in the sales. Sales is like more one-on-one. Marketing is one to many. However, on a meta level, it's kind of like, yeah, how you want to define it for your purpose at that time. Um, Marketing is like everything that a customer sees, right? Like marketing is the McDonald's sign. Marketing is a piece of mail that the customer gets. Marketing is the writing on the website. Everything that the consumer can taste, touch, see, or hear or feel is considered marketing because that's part of your brand. So then, yes, actually, what the salesperson says ultimately is under the umbrella of the marketing director. Because if the salesperson is leaving fucked up messages and not portraying the company, that ultimately falls under the marketing director, which actually why, and maybe many people in sales may not want to hear this. I think the sales director actually, you want to say everyone's on a team and we work side by side. At the end of the day, I feel like the sales director reports directly to the marketing director because ultimately the marketing director, I'm not saying sales is not important or that it requires a different skill set or the same skill set. I'm just saying that ultimately when two heads butt and one person has to get his way, I think you have to default to the marketing director. Outside of that, it should be teamwork. Everyone should be seen as equals. But for example, the marketing director brings in the leads for the sales team to close. The sales team is very important. But ultimately, what the sales team says to the clients reflect from the top down, right? The image. And so while sales might be motivated by closing 100%, marketing and branding might have different values that they want to do. So it is about working together, but I think at the end of the day, marketing is on a hierarchical level, just slightly above sales. And if I had time to draw out the funnel, it might visually make more sense. I might do that in an actual longer episode at some day. So, but what is marketing? Simplified in a nutshell, I think this is kind of what we all understand, right? Like you have a great idea for a product or service. I'm going to start from the ground floor because a lot of times we think of marketing by looking at Coca-Cola and the billboards and the McDonald's and the Tesla and what they're doing, and we try to figure out marketing from the big brands. Let's think about it backwards from a brand new startup company. Say you got a great idea for a product or service. Say you're Uber before there was Uber, right? Oh, hey, there's this app, and you can drive your car and make money, and then you can crowdsource it and this and then everyone looks at you and they're like, you're stupid, go back to school, go work on your day job, right? So you have a great idea for a product or service. You have the next Uber. But how do I tell everybody about this idea, right? Let's say you even have the operations, everything set. Let's say you're a baker, you have the best recipe in the world, you have a brand new oven, you got the restaurant space even, you got the licenses and the everything, and you got capital saved up to pay rent and employees for a few months, but no one's walking through your door, the phone's not ringing, and no one's going to your website. What do? That's marketing, right? How do you tell everybody about this new business that you have, this new product, this new restaurant, this new idea, and perhaps you do, perhaps it's something novel and new, right? Perhaps it's the next Uber, or it's the next fitness idea, or it's the next gimmick to help you lose weight, or next service to help you do this, or perhaps you doing something that already exists, but you're doing it cheaper. Efficiency, automation, that's always possible. So we want to, at some point we want to say marketing stops and sales begins. And different companies, it shifts, and sometimes it's hard to really say, and that's why it's better to have more of a fluid kind of definition. But I gotta go today. I got another meeting starting right now, and we'll see you tomorrow, which I think is Wednesday. Is marketing mornings with Omar. I'm scared yet to call it marketing mornings. I don't know if it's always going to be marketing.